Okay, so let's give welcome everyone. Let's give the other attendants a few minutes to connect. I see that attendees are joining right now, so we'll give them a few minutes and we'll get started. All right, so let's get started. Thanks everyone for joining. My name is Gabriel Zhang, and today we're going to share a webinar with you, a new TechTALK webinar called Inventory Management Strategies for Streamlined Fulfillment. Differently from our usual webinars, today we're going to be talking about techOMS. Okay, techOMS is one of our products and a tool to help you manage and bridge your orders from your sales channels and to fulfillment channels, allowing you to streamline this sort of operation. We're going to specifically talk about inventory, products, bundles, automations, and many other things that are going to be beneficial for your ops. So let's get started with the main list of topics we will review. We're going to do a brief introduction for these, and then we're going to jump into a techOMS portal and see how it's done. Okay, so on the line today, we have products and inventory level sections. We're going to review those. What can you do in those sections? We're also going to be talking about SKU variants. There's a specific section for that. And we're going to see how you can operate with that as well. Import, export, maintenance, all right. And synchronization as well. Speaking of synchronization, we're going to also review how to automate your operations with recurring jobs. This allows you to set up timeframes on which techOMS will be requesting and pushing information from and to your sales and fulfillment channels. And then we're going to see how to perform manual operations, anything that you might want to do outside of the realm of automation. And that includes manual export and import of products and product maintenance, as well as merging SKUs if at any point you need to do those. But let's deep dive a little bit on these points before we jump into the portal and see how it's done. So when it comes to products and inventory level sections, what we are going to do is review imported products. I already have some set up, so you can check how these look like. We're going to see how to create products manually, how to edit them manually as well, how to adjust inventory levels and using filters. Note that even though we're going to be seeing manual procedures for this, I'm also going to show you how to automate these processes. The advantage of seeing the manual processes happening is that you'll know what's running in the background when you run an automation, what sort of fields it's hitting, how data is structured within the application whenever you need to perform any maintenance, and then you get to understand in plain words and terms how the product thinks. Okay, what it expects to receive from a sales or fulfillment channel, what it expects to push that way. Okay, so when it comes to product and inventory levels, this is what we'll see in a moment. As for variants, there's a separate section for variants. So when you define SKUs in techOMS, you could have, let's say, for example, a Bluetooth speaker, right? Now, that Bluetooth speaker might come in different colors, or it might come in different, even the same model, right? So let's say that you have a different stock for those. People buy more the green one because they like it better, or like they like the black one because it just doesn't catch the eye that much, right? It's more discreet. So maybe you have let's say lower stock on black and green, that you do for, let's say, flashy pink, right? So in the variance section, we're going to see how to review the product variants, how to create them, edit them, how you can use filters to find these. And we're also going to have a brief introduction into bundling and references as well. How a bundle is generated, how it's binded, how SKUs are bound under a bundle, okay? So you can understand how techOMS works in that sense and how it can benefit your data structure and operation as well. Then when it comes to operations automation, which is also called, the technical name for it is recurrent jobs, we're going to review how these are set up. Is fairly simple. How to enable them, and have a little chat about time periods, okay? How you can set these up, and the pros and cons of these, okay? And then finally, we're going to review how to do manual import, export, and merge processes. So you could do a full synchronization with your sales and fulfillment channels when it comes to your SKU and inventory information. But if at any point you need to run any of these operations manually or do any manual updates, you can do so one by one, or you can use files to do let's say batch or bulk updates of this information. And you can also, for well, whichever reason, could be reporting, could be review, export this information. And if at any point you need to merge SKUs, say for example that, I don't know, product A and B, which were called differently, now the company rebranded things and it was bought by some other company, and these are going to go under one specific name. That's cool. You can merge the SKUs without any issues. It's a really simple process, okay? So again, or if you had duplicates, say for example, oh, it was someone called SKU 001, and someone else called the very same SKU hyphen 001, and someone realizes, it's like, oh guys, it's the same SKU, it's not a different one. Okay, so let's merge these two. You can choose which one you're going to keep, the code, and it's a really simple process. So you can manage that as well. Okay, well, introduction's done. Let's jump ahead and do it. Okay, so here we are at the techOMS portal. First of all, always make sure that you're working on the right warehouse or environment here. So you might need to choose it here from the drop down. In this case, I'm just using demo, which is what I have. And we're going to be focusing in the inventory section, okay? So let's get started first of all with products and inventory level, all right? So as we handle products and inventory levels, you'll see that we have both options here. When I click in products, what I'll see here is a list of products that have been already synchronized, okay? And there are two sections, products and variants. We're going to be working on products right now for a moment, and also in inventory levels. Then we'll swap to variants, okay? Now, these products, okay, can be created manually from here. Say, for example, if I want to create one right now, I can just give it a name and a code, save it, and that's it. And when a product gets created, it gets created without any variants, okay? Now, for example, here we see a Bluetooth speaker, all right, which has 3 variants under it. If I edit the Bluetooth speaker, I'm going to see, well, the name and the code, of course. I'll automatically see variants over here. As you can see, we have blue, red, and black, each one with their own SKU code, BTX00B for blue, red, and BK for black, all right? It has all the information here, so yeah, you can jump from this section to the variant editing. If you need to add more variants, you can perfectly do it from here. You can press add, say, well, I'm just going to add a new product variant. This is going to be my, let's say, yellow, because I like yellow. I'm going to do a large yellow, right? SKU code is going to be BTX00Y for yellow. And this costs a little bit more because it's more fancy. Okay, so let's say it's $20. Okay, and let's save it. You're going to notice that it's non-inventory item is an option here. That means that it will not count as inventory for that. And its bundle means that this new SKU, air quotes, is actually a bundle and not an individual SKU. But we're going to talk about bundles a little bit later. And also references. You can get to define references over here as well. Let's save this so we can make sure that we have applied the settings, okay, and go back to products. So over here, this is how you can review a product and create and edit a product manually, okay? If at any point you need to change it and say, well, this is not going to be a Bluetooth speaker model X00, and say that there's rebranding, and there's, I don't know, they released a cheaper version and this one becomes the Pro version, they can just change it from here. Name and code if it's required, okay? This operation can also be done by synchronizing. You can import products, variant references, and all that. We're going to take a look at this later at the end of the session, okay? I don't want to draw your attention out of the topic of product maintenance, okay? Now, as you create these queues, either if you synchronize them from a sales channel, a fulfillment channel, or you create them here manually or through a file, in any case, there's going to be inventory, right? These are not just ethereal, you can count them. So when it comes to inventory levels, how many of these Bluetooth speakers we have, we handle that through inventory levels, okay? Through this section, what I can do is check inventory levels for individual SKUs in this view, or for bundles in this other view, okay? As you can see, these views will have, well, the warehouse where these are handled under, the SKU code, the product variant, and quantities, okay? Total quantity, allocated quantity, available quantity, and incoming quantity. With this, you can keep track of your sales orders, your shipments, your allocations, and your purchase orders, okay? If at any point you need to manually adjust any of these inventory levels, you can perfectly do so using the adjustment button over here. So say, for example, let's look for that yellow speaker. We can use filters over here. Just a second. Okay, here we go. Yellow. I think I'm just going to do VT. There we go. All right, so over here we have, as you can see, all the models. All right. Let's say that demo is where we are right now. Let's say that we broke a few of these. All right. Someone was packing them. These were this order had a red speaker. All right. And we broke one. So we have a total quantity of 17 here, the available quantity. What we're going to do is adjust the inventory, okay? We're going to reduce it by one, quantity one, reason, accident, broken item, right? So that way, when you do it, as you can see, now it's 16 instead of 17. You can report and adjust your inventory in this particular case, even with a justification of the reason why, okay? Again, this section will allow you to import and export information. We have canonical files for these. I'm going to show you at the end of the session where you can get these files. But you can also handle these by file. You can either import information, so you can, let's say, bulk or mass update these things. Or what you could do is this. You can export for any kind of controls you want to run offline. Okay, so in this particular case, as you can see, and this is a really important point, what you're going to export is the filtered information, right? Obviously, it won't bring absolutely everything unless you don't use any filters. But most likely, if you're going to, or you're looking for a specific report on specific data, obviously you won't be bringing everything in one shot and then sit down and try to find and classify the information you're looking for, filter it manually if you can have the system filter it for yourself, okay? When it comes to filtering data here, you can do it by SKU code, as you can see using the search bar. There are predefined search options over here, in this particular case, by warehouse. And if you want to use the advanced filter, you can apply different actions at the same time. For example, in this case, apply, well, this particular warehouse and the SKU at the same time. Depending on the view, for example, if I do the same in products here, you'll see that you can find them by SKU. But if I go for variants, I will have different options. Is bundle, non-inventory item. So the filters availability is not generic. It's bound and tied to the specific view you are working with. All right. So that's how we handle products and inventory levels in these sections. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about the variants. We already had, let's say, a brief sneak peek into those through editing the product, but there's a specific section for variants here, okay? So in this case, for example, we see that we have several of these. Some of these are SKU bundles and some are not. For example, in this case, we have kit SKU 1. It costs $10. It hits the inventory, and it's a bundle. So we can edit this one and see what's within the bundle. Okay. You're going to see the basic information that we saw before: product, SKU code, and the name. And in this particular case, well, obviously the cost, we have it here as well, but you will see that we have bundle, and this is checked. And within this section, you can define what's included in the bundle. In this particular case, you have two of, well, SKU 1 for the kit and one item of SKU 2, okay? If you want to see more details on this particular variant, you can click and show details. And this is going to show any other piece of information that you have added to these, okay? There's also an alternative section. This alternatives section is useful for whenever you don't, or you have issues or the item is not available, you can choose an alternative to fill the gap, okay? In this case, I might say, for example, that if this one is not available, I'm going to use, say, for example, this particular one. And I can define priorities. I can say, well, these are all the alternatives. This one is the most important one. If that fails, let's go to the next one, so on and so forth. All right. Let's go back over here and back again, so we can go to the variant section. When you create a variant, this variant needs to be tied to a product. Okay, so in this case, for example, let's say that well, we're gonna do shampoo. Well, we're gonna do Bluetooth speaker. All right. We're going to give it a name, and let's say, for example, in this case, it's going to be Bluetooth speaker blue camel, right? And then we're going to call this one BTX00 blue BOC. Okay, this one is a special edition, so it's $50. Okay, we're gonna save this over here, and we're gonna see it in this section. If I go back to products and I try to find the Bluetooth speaker, and now it has 5 variants. Okay, let's say that if you order that particular one, let's go with camel. If you order this one, we're gonna throw a free one in. Okay, so we're gonna turn this one into a bundle. So if we were to do so, we have to edit the variant. We're going to click in bundle, and we're going to start adding bundle parts, right? So in this case, Bluetooth speaker, camel, quantity 1, right? And I'm going to add one more. In this case, I don't have the proper binding. It would take us a little bit more time for this to have dependencies on the other speakers. But if I would be able to add an extra speaker, or maybe, I don't know, maybe stickers as a gift or something like that. When you handle bundles this way, okay, once you have them ready, you save them, and they will look like this. Let's go back to, well, just a second. Let's go back to variants over here. And these are going to show as is bundle. When you want to, if you want to find bundles only, say, for example, that you're particularly doing a check on bundles, you can perfectly apply the advanced filter here, check is bundle, and that's it. If you just apply, obviously you can add more elements to the filter, right? But if you do it this way, you'll have it in one shot, okay? And in this case, it's like summer phone, for example, in this case, summer for phones Q bundle. Within this bundle, a few days ago, what I added was a wireless phone, a phone case, and a phone charger, okay? So each one of these will be hit individually, these individual SKUs, right? Will be hit individually when it comes to inventory, whenever this bundle is ordered. So these are grouped under this entity called Summer Phone SKU Bundle, right? And you won't have to worry about updating these manually or these not properly updating because the bundle is a separate entity. But in fact, when you handle these, each one will get hit individually when it comes to inventory. So you don't have to worry about it, okay? Now, as to processes then, let's do a quick recap. How to create variants. Again, straightforward. You come over here, create manually, obviously, okay? We're going to see file creation at the end of the session. You can just, again, you bind it to a product here as the base product, give it a name, a SKU, cost. And if it's a non-inventory item, say, for example, stickers for the bundle, right? I ordered the Bluetooth speaker and you send me a bunch of stickers with it. Well, that might be a non-inventory number. I'm not going to be counting how many stickers I have. In fact, I'm not selling them. It's a gift that comes with the product, right? So that could be an example of a non-inventory item. So we have it. Review product variants, create, edit, using the filters, and bundling and references. Okay. Good. Now, everything we've seen so far have been manual processes. Okay. Obviously, the idea is to automate as much as possible. So for that, I'm going to take a couple of minutes to show you how you can set up recurrent jobs that run operations automation. This will be found not under the inventory section, but under the system settings section. Okay, over here you have a section called account. We're going to move to recurrent jobs, and under recurrent jobs, you're going to have a breakup of all the job types that are available. Okay, you can choose to enable and disable these whenever you need. For example, in this particular case, I only have 4 turned on and 4 turned off. Okay, because maybe I'm running these operations turned off manually, right? Or maybe I have other processes that are handling this this type of interaction. But in this case, for example, for receiving inventory from fulfillment channels, my WMS, okay, I have it set up. So first of all, I have it on, right? And I have it set up to run in a period of on a daily period. So every 24 hours, techOMS will automatically receive inventory from my WMS, from my fulfillment channel, or my fulfillment channels, if you have many tied to your warehouse in techOMS, okay? In a similar fashion, I'm also sending inventory to sales channels. So the sales channels, say, for example, I don't know, Shopify, Magento, Amazon, whatever you're using on the other side, is also updated. And it's updated every 24 hours. So I have a daily automated operation, pushing things once, receiving things from one end and sending it to the other end, okay? When it comes to the other two that I have on, receiving shipments from fulfillment channels from the WMS, and receiving receipts from the fulfillment channels, also from the WMS, okay, I have a different setup here. So for example, I'm asking the system to check every hour what's the shipment status in the fulfillment channels in my WMS. So every 1 hour, techOMS will be going to my WMS saying, hey guys, what's up with the shipments, right? Do you have any? Let's push them into techOMS, right? Pros and cons of doing this, right? Of having different time thresholds, because these are the options that you have available for 1 hour, 2 hour, 4, 8, 12, and 24 hour thresholds, is that, well, obviously, the shorter the threshold, the more, let's say, live operation information will be on your operations. Nevertheless, depending on how you have your operation structured, this might be a problem sometimes rather than a solution. And you might need a higher time frames for whichever operations you might need to do manually, right? So things don't get automatically closed, automatically pass one side to the other, right? And in scenarios that might require human intervention or human verification. One quite common example is, for example, high cost orders. Um, it's not a topic for this particular webinar, but for example, for sales orders and purchase orders, shipments, you can define automated rules. And you could say, for example, if I get a shipment from, or an order, sorry, a sales order from my sales channel, and that sales order is over $2,500, in that case, I don't want to process that order straight ahead and send it to my fulfillment channel and get it fulfilled right out. I need someone to check a couple of things. I need, I don't know, people filling out paperwork, people confirming information, checking insurance, X, Y, and Z, right? Could be a million possibilities, right? But in that case, you're not going to automate that order. You want that order to stand by for a while. Maybe someone will get an email, a supervisor, that an order XYZ123 is over the $2,500 threshold and requires manual attention, right? So in that case, if you're doing it every 1 hour, your staff will have to be super sharp on this kind of notifications, because after an hour is going to be gone, right? So you might want to adapt these automated thresholds to your operations. And once you get it, once you're in tune, then you can start polishing out and say, well, okay, we're doing this every 8 hours. Let's reduce the threshold in 4. Let's organize ourselves a little bit better. So you can run at the speed of automation without having any issues, or without having to patch any automated operations that were unwanted. Okay. Again, this hits every channel and every operation according to the needs you might have. So in that case, there's no problem. All right. It's really up to you and into what you want to enable or leave disabled, and into how you want to define these time thresholds. Okay. Once you make changes over here, don't forget to save so these are applied. Now, to wrap up in the next, say, 10 minutes that we have, okay? Let's talk about manual import, export, and merge processes. And I see that we have a question in the Q&A section, so please hold on. We're going to handle that particular question at the end of the session, if that's okay. So in this particular case, let's go back to products over here. And let's talk a little bit about import, okay? So again, as you could see, you can automate this import and export. This synchronization can be handled automatically by the system. But if at any point you need to perform these operations for products or product variant references, import or export, you can do it from here, okay? The process is basically the same for whichever case. The only difference is the file that you're going to use, depending on which option you're going to you pick, okay? So in this case, if I choose import products, it's going to require a file from me. And once I upload the file, I'm going to press import products. If I do the same with import product variant references, same scenario. I click in files, choose the file, and off I go, okay? Now, the main question remains now, where do I get those files? Okay. So through the Media Hand Assistant, instead just type file over here. You're going to find a lot of articles explaining how to run these processes. Okay. So if you're not familiar with these, my suggestion is that you go straight through one of these articles. For example, in this case, if I wanted to import products, I click over here. This is going to have instructions, notes, links to canonical file sections. Okay. But you just follow the steps over here, right? If you need to zoom in into any of the pictures, you can click over here. You're going to see them in full screen. All right. So it says, well, the most effective way to the product soon is import. Okay. So over here we have step 1, step 2, which is what we're doing right now. You can click over here to see what you should focus on. All right. And well, this is step 1, 3, and 4. Upload the file and press import products. In these articles, and this is where I wanted to get, you're going to have some notes under the steps, which take you to the articles where we have what we call canonical templates or canonical files. These are the official files that we provide for you to download and alter with the information that you require to fill out in order to push that file into techOMS. Okay. As you can see over here, it says you can download the canonical template file here. The file includes 1 SKU and 2 variants. So you always have an example as part of the file, not just a blank file, okay? Or export your current product list as indicated here to modify and re-upload to update. Okay, it's really up to you on how you want to do it. In this case, let's go to this article. Let me show it to you. This article will include what's available at the moment. So right now you see these 5 options here, 5 types of templates. But if we expand the system and we add more, you might visit this in 1 month's time, and there's going to be 2 more options, right? 2 more file templates. So in this case, inventory products, import template. I'll just click in download. This is going to take me to a file. You're going to see under the description here and there. Let's download. Give it a while. There we go. Let's call it this way. Let's open it up, make a couple of changes, and give it a shot and try to import. Okay. So over here I have a product code ABC webinar. Webinar 1. Okay, let's say that we are bringing up to chocolate. Okay. And it's going to be, I don't know, chocolate bar with, oh, sorry, with almonds. Okay, so we have variant SKU, ABC, WA, ABC, W1. Variant name is going to be chocolate bar, size L. Okay. LA for almonds here. Okay, we have some stuff, right? Description, UPC, the cost, etc., etc. This is a large one, so we're going to do L over here, and this is L as well, right? So once you get the file there, okay, you can try to push it from here. Okay, so if I do maintenance, import products, files, let's try to get it. Import products. As you can see, once you perform the import, you're going to get a message confirming what was basically what happened. Okay. If there were any issues, any warnings, right? As you can see here, we have a total count of 2. Successful were 2. So thumbs up. That's okay. And you're going to see, a report on the first 100 transactions if these were successful. Right now, I can say, well, chocolate. I'm trying to find it here. So as you can see, we have it. Chocolate bar and chocolate bar with almonds. And this only included two products, right? But you can do it with as many as you, well, not as many as you want. There's a limit for 10,000 per file, okay? But it's really up to you. If you want to export, same thing, right? You can export products or your references this way. It's just clicking here and downloading the file. Let's take a look at how it looks like. There we go. As you can see, again, remember, the data that's going to be exported is the filter data that you have on screen, right? So in this particular case, it's only pulling 3 products because we have filtered chocolate here, and these are the 3 results. If I remove this and I do maintenance export products, I'm just going to export my whole list of products, okay? So take that into account. You can either go full list or you can cherry pick what you're actually looking for, okay? Well, what remains here is merging the SKUs, okay? So let's go to chocolate. Say, well, people are not liking almonds, so we're going to discontinue that or something like that, say. And it's gonna, okay, now every chocolate bar will have almonds, right? So I can choose SKUs by selecting them here, click maintenance and merge, okay? When I try to do a merge, what techOMS will ask me is with what I want to replace the product name with, by, and the product code as well. So in this case, if I want to do chocolate bar with almonds, ABC webinar 1, if I run the merge this way, as you can see, the other one is gone. We have merged the first SKU into just one, but this will have 2 variants, as you can see. Okay, if I edit this here, you're going to see that within the chocolate bar with almonds, you'll have the regular chocolate bar here, L, and chocolate bar LN, which is the large one with almonds, okay? So as you merge SKUs, you will merge them under one entity, and then you'll have both original SKUs under it as variants. Of course, that from here, you could say, well, we're just gonna completely remove the non-almond option. We're not selling that plain milk chocolate, which is everyone loves almonds, so we can just say let's remove it, and that's it. You delete it from here and it's gone, okay? So you have your regular original SKU with just one variant, which is the original SKU that was in there, okay? All right, so we're done with the program. Let's go with the question. So the question is there a report you run to check reasons for adjusted inventory in techOMS? That's a really, really good question. In this particular section, you cannot do it because we don't have logs implemented here yet, okay? So for the moment, we don't. But I mean, techOMS is a product in expansion. Logs are one of the latest improvements in terms of the information there, the ease of use and understanding of this information as well. So you could perfectly you could perfectly request over the feedback section, which would be a great let's say cherry on top of the webinar for that. So for example, here you'll see that you have a feedback section. When you click over here, you can create a new request. In this case, I'm in an admin view, but I could perfectly say, provide a short description, add report or log on adjusted inventory reasons, right? Over here, you just add a description, create a post. This will be received by our team. It will be reviewed by a features committee. And it could be upvoted by other people as well. So your idea might be a great idea that other people might be interested in, and it can be voted by others. And once it's part of the roadmap and we implement it, you're going to see notifications over here. Okay, so once your request has been fully, you can obviously track the progress of your request in the feedback portal. You can get feedback from our team as well if you need to share any additional details, or if you want to request an update, you can do so that way. And over here, once it has been released, you're going to get notifications on these new features. So you might see something of a similar fashion like this. It's like, oh, now techOMS supports inventory adjustments reasons report, right? And this is how it works. This is how you do it. You can access this article into, well, to see the steps to generate it, right? And that's, sorry, that's how we iterate when it comes to these new features. But for the moment, we don't have it available. Good. If there are no additional questions, this is again going back to our the title and the main purpose of this webinar. These are inventory management strategies that you can use for streamlined fulfillment. Doing a quick recap then, we could say that, well, you could first of all perform maintenance of products and variants, bundles and references manually via file or via synchronization, and that you can also perform or set up operations automation, as well as file manual import, export, and merge processes. Well, thank you for joining today. I hope this webinar has been fruitful and that you can make the best out of it so you can improve your operations. And well, we're going to share a recording as usual via our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so you're up to date with any other webinars you have missed or any other webinars that might come in the future. And I wish you have a fantastic day and you make the best out of Tech products, okay? Techdinamics products. Have a great day and see you on the next webinar. Bye-bye.